Alright, turn 12. So, Arco has bounced back off of Fomoria's capital, which is fine because they stopped him from recruiting for a turn. Fomoria's army here is a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. I think he's pulled back, he's just pulled back every unit he has into his capital. So this is the entirety of Fomoria. About 100 units, mainly Furbolg warriors and Furbolg slingers. I know he's got a few unmarked. I don't think, actually, he's had time to recruit a whole lot of his elves, which is great. He does have his worm. Be thankful it's not on a plane. So, we'll see what we can do. I'm gathering my troops that are currently right here, down in Loraborough. So I'm going to get about, what's that, 15... I'm going to get about 30 skin shifters, 28 skin shifters, I guess, or 27. 27 skin shifters, plus a whole bunch of random assorted infantry, all gathered together in Loraborough. I did take... I wonder why there are two... I guess I recruited those two guys. That is just a scout, I think, so I don't need that. Everybody here is patrolling. I searched for magic sites but didn't find any. I don't want to attack this turn just yet, because I want to gather my troops together first. Over here, we are starting to recruit a Russian wizard, upgrade this wooden fort. Down here, not recruiting any troops because we're still recruiting wizards. Down here, we retook Amber Fields with, lost a couple of bear warriors, but we wiped out the villains, and we're moving Dmitri this way. Pangaea is raiding Yomi, has taken another province from them. Pranda. No casualties there, which is great. And bounced a Black Harpy off Yomi to see if anything was patrolling. Nothing was patrolling. Niefelheim has taken Rafabolia, wiped out the heavy cavalry with no casualties. I got some unexpected events, like I got some nature gems, I also got some brigand unrest, and some more unrest in Flemistan, because, fuck me. That's why. That's the whole reason. There's no other reason for it. It was Forest of Long Nights, right? Yeah. Brigands have taken up residence in a ruin in Forest of Long Nights. Not too much of a problem. Site searching over there, moving Yakov around to site search, just getting some real basic level little site searching done. I do have Leonti, who has a level 2 nature magic, so he can search for level 2 nature sites, which is pretty radical. Gonna keep funneling nature gems down to Pangaea. Actually, I'm just gonna send Pangaea my nature gems right now, because I don't need them, and he can use them. If nothing else, he can stockpile them for a big ol' Mother Oak in, I don't know, 15 turns, 16 turns, something like that. Up here, I don't know if I talked about this last turn, but I don't remember if I talked about this last turn, but we have gathered the Grand Alliance. So we've got Sauromatia, we've got Agartha, we've got Machaka, although they don't really border, and then we've got, of course, Nasajin and myself all agreed to go in against the elves on turn 16. And we've been talking with the water team down here, with Perun. He's been positive about it, but he told me he has to talk to his teammates to get back to me. He may be betraying us, it's possible, but, you know, I wouldn't blame him too much if he did. He finally has, like, more dominion in his territory, but we still have dominion on all of his provinces except his capital, including some of the ones on the far side of the lake. Which is nice, because it's also giving us a little bit of vision. And we can see other people's dominions and stuff around here. It's kind of cool. In any case, so we're gathering those troops. We've got these troops moving out. Another 11 skin shifters plus some bear warriors moving up here. They're going to grab some archers, actually. Some Russian hunters, which can fling arrows around. Having a few arrows is never a bad idea, especially if we anticipate fighting Vanheirs sometime soon. Hopefully, Sauromatia will take a lot of the Vanheir pressure off us once the fighting starts, and we can kind of roll in through. But in another couple of turns, like another 2 or 3 turns, I'm going to go into Fomoria and see if we can lock them down under siege, at least, just to prevent them from recruiting any more sorceresses or Nemedian kings, Fomorian kings, I'm sorry, you know, all that kind of good stuff. We have, interestingly, their dominion is going way, way down. So, like, Loraborough currently has nobody's dominion in it. Flemistan only has 3 candles of Fomoria's. If we can get a point of our own dominion in Loraborough, that would be great, because that would mean that if they attack us, they'll fail, because Put You on Ice will be regenerating at 20%, and he'll have the Bless active, and he will auto-bless everybody else, all of the skin shifters. The skin shifters are going to get blessed regardless, but it would be nice to have it automatically. But so that's basically all that's happening this turn. I did get a Lightless Lantern from Pangaea, so I'm going to put that on Pafnudi here. I guess he got that through a random event, so that's cool. My research is now up to 42 points per turn, so I'll hit Conjuration level 2 in a couple turns, then Conjuration level 3. I'm thinking I may actually just run straight down to Conjuration level 5. None of these summoning spells up here are super valuable for me yet, but Conjuration level 5 will let me summon full-size fire and air elementals. And of course I will have the Phoenix power, storm power, all that kind of stuff. I won't have storm, but full-size elementals are never bad, and then I can go down evocation. So that, I think, might be my goal. Once I'm churning out 2 wizards per turn from these 2 forts, my research will go up very quickly, because wizards are pretty good researchers. 15 research points per turn in my in the Magic 2 that I currently have. Except for him, of course, he's 27. But yeah, 16 if I hit Magic 3. I don't think we're gonna... Did we take Magic 3? I feel like we only took Magic 2. I can't remember my own scales. That's how lost I am. In any case, this situation is fine. Like I said, gonna take a couple more turns. We're bringing back Dimitri, who has his Chud Skin Shifters. We're bringing up Izyaslav with his Skin Shifters. Once those guys get there, I think we'll be in a good position to go in against Fomorian. So, in any case... That's turn 12. And I'll see in turn 13. Nasajin's going to take this back from Agartha, or he should. This is our southern border with Machaka. It's a little high for my tastes, but what can you do? They're alright. Is over here. Nasajin has actually found a number of death sites, which is great. Haunted Village, 2 Gardens of Bones, and a Burial Mound. So that's 1, 2, 3... That's 4 extra death gems per turn. Down here, he found a Wolf Oak and a Whispering Wood, which is pretty sweet, and allows him to recruit Enchantresses, which are not bad. Elemental Mages, good nature. They are slow to recruit and a little bit expensive, but, you know, having that kind of flexibility can be nice. And he also, of course, found the Azure Academy up here, so he can recruit Water 1 and Water 2 mages if he wants. Get a little bit of water income from that. Yeah, Nasajin's doing really well on the gem department. I'm not doing as well on the gem department. I got the Imperial Quarry, I got the Earthblood Seepage, so my Earth income is actually pretty decent. I also have this Wind Spire, which is giving me an extra air gem per turn. And down here I have like an Iron Deposit, which isn't really a magic site. Over here I've got a Wild Forest, so that's giving me an extra nature gem. So overall, my income has gone up. You know, I start with 6, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you start with 6, as is usual in the early era. And right now I'm at 4, 7, 8, 11. 11's not bad for turn 12. But obviously could be better. I lust for gems. I hunger for them deeply. But, well, that's all kind of for the future. For right now, we're doing good. We're in a decent spot. So, I'll see y'all in turn 13. Alright, folks, turn 13. This is actually a fairly quick turn, because not a lot happened. Now, the one interesting thing that's happened is Lanka has gotten their disciple over here to help Yomi, because their disciples have been awake for a few turns. Lanka is right here, so he just walked across like this, I guess, or... Yeah, that must be how he came. He must have walked through those provinces. So 1, 2, 3, 4... probably only 4 turns and he was in Yomi. And so we can see what he is... right here, because he's pushing out. I would say a little bit rashly, to be totally honest. But in any case, so this is Sparkles, the Great White Bull. Sparkles can self-buff himself pretty well, because he has Earth, he has Astral, he has Nature. So right now, obviously, they've got Enchantment level 2. So he casts Personal Regeneration, he casts Personal Luck, and he casts Twist Fate. Now that's actually a really good buff combo for this thing, because it has relatively low prot. But it does have regeneration, and its proc goes up by 5 when it berserks up to 22. So once it berserks, it's regenerating here 23 hit points per turn. Or 20 hit points per turn, rather. It has the Twist Fate, so it ignores the first hit, which isn't super important for it, but it also has the Luck, which means it has a 3/4 chance to negate a hit that kills it. Now, that's probably not going to be a big deal for it, because if it's taking hits that could kill it, odds are it's taking a whole bunch of hits that could kill it, and it will die in one round anyway. But it's possible that that could keep it alive for another round, and if it survives one round, then it regenerates another 21 hit points, or 20 hit points, and that might save it for another couple of hits, and you see how it can go. In the meantime, this guy is just a big, mean trampler, and so he was attacking some province defense here, and he just ran over him. I will note, however, that, as I said, he doesn't have the greatest prot, and he's also very much not fatigue neutral. He has encumbrance too, and then he is more encumbered when he berserks. He does have the blood surge, which increases his reinvigoration, so he gets a little bit of reinvigoration from that, but still, he is fatigue negative. Over a long battle, this guy would fatigue out, so just a large army of guys who hit, like, moderately hard will eventually kill him, but it will take a long time. He's in his own Dominion right now, which is why he gets this blessing, so MR plus 3 and Blood Surge. Outside of his Dominion, he wouldn't get the Blood Surge, but the Blood Surge honestly isn't that big a deal anyway. So, you know, it's not a big thing. But, so he wipes out this province defense. However, it should be noted, this Minotaur Lord here with his double axe, especially when he goes berserk, actually hits him once for like 30 some odd damage. So first there's one hit there, which is ignored because of the Twist Fate. So that popped the Twist Fate. Then the Minotaur Lord goes in and hits him again, and gets him for like 35. I think right about now, yeah, 33 points of damage right there. So, like, not many Minotaur Lords would probably be able to just straight up kill him, which is hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. That's really kind of funny. But in any case, he's dead. The Outer Throne has been claimed in the name of Zardoz, Prince of Navigation. We searched New Micria for magic sites, but didn't find any. That's fine. What we're doing right now is we're just churning out troops. We've got another 11 Sacreds and plus some undisciplined troops here with Izyaslav, who are coming down to meet my troops that are currently waiting in Loreborough. We are recruiting more Sacreds out of Rus. We've got 2 forts producing mages now. We're upgrading this one to a wooden fort, so it will go up to 1 mage per turn. We've got a couple guys out site searching. We're doing all right. Our research is skyrocketing, so we're up to 57 per turn, whereas like 2 turns ago we were at nothing. We'll hit Conjuration level 2 pretty quickly, and then level 3, and we're going to go straight for level 5, so we can start summoning elementals and shit. Fomoria is just kind of locked into their capital. Like, there's nothing they can do, there's nowhere they can go. They can, like, send out raiding parties if they want, and they probably should be, but he's afraid that if he sends out an army, it will be destroyed in detail. So what I'm doing is, I've got these guys just standing here, and I'm gonna just kind of move them at random between these 2 provinces, because, actually, I'm gonna keep patrolling here for 1 more turn, because if he never knows whether I'm moving or not, then he'll never know whether it's safe to move out, because this army, with its 27 Chud Skin Shifters, would 100% demolish his army, especially if he tries to fight me in this province. If he tries to fight me in this province, this group will kill everything he has. If he tries to fight me here, which is in his dominion, he might actually be able to take me, especially if he brings his worm. Now, it's worth noting that Fomoria's dominion is down to only 2 in both Fomoria itself and Flemistan. So they're definitely being weakened by the fact that Put You on Ice has just been parked here for a couple of turns, just dominioning them. And they're getting pushed really, really heavily by the Elf Dominion as well. So it's turn 13. We're planning to attack the Elves on turn 16. So I don't have many more turns to try and kind of get the Fomoria situation under control. That's going to be an issue, because I don't think I can... I mean, I can't siege Fomoria down in that period. The best I can do is just kind of lock him up, and that will occupy a whole bunch of my troops. But I am recruiting a number of Bear Warriors per turn out of Bogger Wold, and Bear Warriors are pretty scary. Unfortunately, they're undisciplined, so I can't set them to guard Commander or to attack Flyers, which will make it more difficult to use them to fight the Wind Riders. I can, however, use my Chud Skin Shifters for that, and they're actually really, really good at that. So as long as I have a priest or 2 guarding them, you know, like leading them, that should be fine. I could also use just regular Chud Berserkers. Chud Berserkers would also fight Wind Riders pretty well, because their attack skill will go up fairly high, and their attack density is very high, and they're tough. They have Prot 12 and 17 hit points, so they're unlikely to be one-shotted by a lance charge from the Wind Riders. It can happen, but it's not very likely. And if they're not one-shotted, of course, they get to strike back with their ambidextrous broadsword and axe attacks, and they can hit hard enough and do enough damage and hit enough times to cut up Wind Riders pretty decent. Not quite as good as Chud Skin Shifters, because Skin Shifters just have that massive, like, 30 damage hit. But, you know, 2 20 plus damage hits are almost as good. But anyway, still skin shifters right now. Still getting these guys out. This fort will be upgraded next turn, like I said, and then I'll probably build one. I don't want to build one here because that province is absolute garbage. Building one here would not be a bad thing. Building a fort in Mins. Like, I wouldn't be able to recruit Thunder Priests here, but I would still be able to recruit Rusian Wizards. And I would still be able to recruit most of my troops. I wouldn't get Bear Warriors, but I would get True Berserkers and Wizards. Like, so I wouldn't get Thunder Priests, and I wouldn't get Bear Warriors. But, you know what? I think I'll be fine. I have 2 forest forts already right now. And then, of course, once I take Fomoria is in a forest, so I'll be able to get my shit there as well. In terms of other magic, once I hit Conjuration level 2, I'll be able to summon Simargles. Simargles are flying, so they have a little bit of siege strength. It's not all that much. I'll also be able to summon Ogres. Ogres have actually quite a bit of siege strength for the gems. So I may just, once that happens, I may dump my Earth Gems, which I'll have about 20 of at that point, into summoning some Ogres to help crack Fomoria. Because right now, I don't have the siege strength to break Fomoria. I've got 77 siege strength there. This group has about another 40. That will slowly break down Fomoria, but it'll take a long time. So, you know, we'll kind of have to see what we can do with that. And there being a worm inside Fomoria is going to be an absolute bastard to fight. Especially if they have Skelospam online by the time I crack it, which they probably will if they have any brains, which I know they do. If I was Fomoria in this position, I would be frantically pumping out mages, Nemedian sorceresses, with all the money that I could possibly muster, and begging my allies to send me more money if they had the option to do that, and researching towards Enchantment 5, because if I could get the Worm and Skelospam off of my spell-singing Fomorian sorceresses active, you could probably hold this against almost anything. The only thing that's going to come through that combination is like mass fire elementals, which I can summon fire elementals somewhat, but not easily, because Rusian Wizards are only ever Fire 1. And in order to get Fire 2, I would have to be recruiting Daughters of the Sun, which I actually do want to do for that reason, basically, because Daughters of the Sun can all summon fire elementals. But I need to get a little bit more research first, I think. And my money is about to undergo a little bit of a crunch, because my income is still not high. I would desperately like more income so that I could start recruiting some Daughters of the Sun. You know, good leadership, so I don't have to worry about having other commanders. Priests, so they can lead sacreds, and they have the fire magic. In fact, you know what? That's probably worth just doing, even though it will slow down my research. 285. If I just cancel all these guys, hold on. I can get a Daughter of the Sun, cancel him. Yeah, because that limits the number of sacreds I can recruit. And then I can get another Rusian wizard over here. Ah, shit. Hold on. Did I fuck it up? I fucked it up. Oh, I could reset my turn, but I don't want to. I don't want to do that. That's fine. I'll just not have him this turn. I'll start on him. I'll have him next turn. Fuck. I mean, that's one of those really, really annoying mistakes, but it is what it is. And I'll just save my 15 gold. Who cares? Okay, so that's fine. Getting the Daughter of the Sun is, I think, valuable. I should probably have waited another turn just to get that wizard finished, but oh well. Next turn I'll have, like, I don't have to recruit this guy this turn, actually. Let me just recruit a scout, and then spend the rest of my money on some bear warriors. Because next turn I'll have 2 recruitment points, and so I'll be able to start recruiting 1 Rusian wizard per turn out of this place, so it won't speed me up. It won't speed me up at all. So that's fine. That is just fine. Now, Fomoria wasn't patrolling, and he wasn't patrolling last turn either, so I don't really know if he's trying to bait me. Like, I kind of want to go in. I kind of want to just send my troops in and beat him up. Because he has to be cautious too. You know what? I'm going to fucking do it. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to move my guys in. If he's trying to recruit someone here, I'll stop the recruitment. I'll cut his income in half, which is huge, because it might stop him from being able to recruit more mages in the future. Since his friends, obviously, are also short on money. I'm going to get a couple of scouts. up into elf territory. Just like that. And see what we can see. And we're prepping to go in against the elves in a few turns. So, that's the turn. And yeah, I'm just gonna fucking go in. It's a little bit of a risk. I don't think he's gonna patrol with everything. The only way he beats this is if he patrols with everything. If he patrols with everything, it'll depend on how many hidden Nemedian sorceresses he has. Because, like, honestly, 27 Chewed Skin Shifters with our Bless is pretty scary. Like, they're going to mulch his infantry, no problem. His Firbolg Druid's not going to contribute a lot. His Worm is the danger, but the Worm still, I think, probably gets killed by that many Battle Axes. And yeah, Nemedian Sorceress support would pretty much be the deal breaker. He's got some unmarked, but they don't have... I mean, right now they still don't have his full Bless, assuming... Because I know at this point that he has, you know, either Dormant or Imprisoned, and if Dormant, he's getting unlucky because it hasn't woken up yet. So, we'll see. But I think I can go in and just lock him down and he's not going to come out. And then I'll bounce off next turn, meet up with these guys, and then bounce right back. Meantime, Dimitri here is just going to snag this province because he can. There's nothing stopping me. There's nobody close enough to attack me for it. And then he'll bounce back and he'll come and join up. But once we have, you know, 38 skin shifters, I don't think we can be pushed back off the capital if we just decide to settle there. So, that's turn 13. I'll see you all on turn 14. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, turn number 14. Fomoriya has actually moved out. They've pushed out, they've recaptured 2 provinces, one with their god plus a few unmarked, and one with their mass of infantry and Firbolg slingers. So we can see here in Kimri, they have 70 troops, 19 slingers, 50 Firbolg warriors, which I believe are primarily the spear kind. And then in Hubberton, they have their Worm and 9 unmarked. Now their Worm is of course regenerating, and their god has woken up. So he was a dormant god. So they now have their full Bless, which gives them Fire Shock resistance and regeneration on top of their Blood Surge and Magic resistance. So be thankful it's not on a plane here. Has 20% regeneration in its own dominion, plus the Fire Shock resist, and the Blood Surge. The regeneration is the important thing. The regeneration takes it from 20 hit points per turn to 40 hit points per turn. That makes it very, very hard to kill. It does have its Water 4, Earth 6, and its casting is Quicken Self, Temper Flesh, Iron Skin. That's its buff cycle, and then it charges. So, high combat speed. Defense skill still quite low. It does have 24 protection, plus it has Slash, Blunt, and Pierce resistance. At this point, it's resistant to almost every kind of damage. I think it's actually resistant now to everything that it's possible to resist. This is why Disciples can be very, very scary kind of super combatants, because just, you know, with no items or anything, it's, 24 prot, resistance to every type of damage, and 40 HP per turn regeneration. That's really, really hard to kill. It's not impossible to kill. I mean, you can still kill this guy just with enough damage. Or you can kill him just with enough troops that deal a moderate amount of damage, if you can isolate him. But he is dangerous. Nobody can say he's not. He's quite dangerous, actually, especially because he also causes fear. So, you know, the strategy to deal with this would be to surround him with people who do either moderately high piercing damage, like 20 piercing damage, or very high slashing or bludgeoning damage. But you do have to surround him, because you have to hit him a bunch in order to get past that 40 HP per turn regeneration. So, because you have to be doing at least, like, 50 HP per damage per round, reliably or so, to actually kill him. And, in the meantime, he's getting 4 attacks per round, all of which are quite high quality, quite damaging. Like, he'll kill a couple people per round every round. Even if they are fairly high quality troops, he'll still kill them. And he'll apply a death poison, and he does a bunch of piercing damage, so he goes through armor and all this shit. You know, he'll inflict casualties. And of course he has the fear effect, so he'll be terrifying squadrons around him as he inflicts casualties and making them break and run. So this guy is going to be hard to kill, but like I said, not impossible. His unmarked, with that bless, also moderately challenging. Unmarked are not super, super powerful, but they're regenerating 4 HP per turn. And they do have, you know, pretty decent stats. So they'll take damage, but killing them off will be, you know, a little more difficult than you might think. So he's got that. His infantry, I'm not worried about his infantry. The biggest danger of his infantry is that if he joins his forces together, it's possible that his infantry will successfully chaff for his god enough that his god won't... Like, I wouldn't be able to surround his god and do enough damage to kill it. So he has 50 Furbolg warriors, 19 Furbolg slingers here. Honestly, the biggest risk to him, I think, in taking a fight with me would be that if he takes all his stuff into a fight, my skin shifters kill all of his stuff and then his god routs and loses that way. And I think that would be the way that I would have to beat him. In any case, I took Fomoriya. I just moved in just to stop him from recruiting, to cut down his income, because this turn, right now, he's not getting income from these provinces because he doesn't have any forts. So, he's, you know, just kind of there, like, not making money from these provinces he's just taken. He's only making half income from Fomoriya itself, so this turn he can't recruit anything, and hopefully he's losing money. Like, because these guys are, like I said, he's got 70... These guys have upkeep of a little under 1 per turn. So, you know, he's paying like 50 gold upkeep for these guys. And then for his unmarked, his unmarked have upkeep of slightly under 2 per turn. So he's paying another like 15 or so here. Depends on how many mages he still has in here. I don't know how many Furbolg druids he's got sitting inside Fomoriya. But it's some. It's not that many. Like, my 75 siege strength is enough to cause him to be lightly damaged. So, they are damaged, but not by a whole lot. See, his wall integrity is 500, so even if I was doing the full 75, it would still show lightly damaged. I just don't know how much he's got in there. In any case, I'm bouncing back, because what I don't want is, I don't want this army to have to fight these guys and these guys all at the same time. Right now, I've got 27 Chud Skin Shifters. Put You on Ice is weakened, because of course he's in enemy dominion and doesn't have his Bless. So, if he were to fight that worm, he would 110% lose. He would get absolutely crushed. Especially because I haven't been doing the research for self-buffs. Like, you need enchantment level 2 to get personal regeneration. I actually probably should research that pretty quick here, to be honest. I may want to take some time out to dip into that, because he's clearly got it. And I've got... Yeah, if I could get enchantment level 2, then I would have the personal regeneration. Alteration is what you need for Quicken Self. He clearly has Alteration level 3, because he has Iron Skin as well as Quicken Self. So he's got Alteration 3 and Enchantment 2, at least, which means he's got more research than me by a fair margin. Which is fine, actually. I'm not super, super worried about it, because it's not enough research to make a huge difference yet. But if he keeps going and getting a lot more research, then it will be, so I need to worry about that. I'm probably going down to Summon Bears. That will give me some siege strength. Right now I don't have a whole lot of siege strength, but yeah, if I can get Conjuration level 3, and then I'm probably going to grab Enchantment 2, and then finish that, and then go down Evocation. Conjuration level 3 is going to take me like 3 turns, and then Enchantment will take me 1 or 2 after that. Probably 2. I did finish upgrading this fort, so I am recruiting... I'm not actually recruiting a mage here this turn, because I'm recruiting troops. I am recruiting another Daughter of the Sun here in Rus. Oh, that's right, I really need the Conjuration level 3. Yeah, okay, so the Conjuration level 3 is coming. So yeah, we're going to summon a few more Daughters of the Sun. I was summoning some Fire Ants, but actually I don't want to do that, because I need to save my Fire Gems. Once we hit Conjuration level 3, we'll be able to summon lesser Fire Elementals, which will help quite a bit. I would like to be able to get to 5 and summon full-size Fire Elementals and Jmeis and stuff like that, but, you know, we'll see. We'll just see what happens. Probably not going to happen by the time we actually have to get into a fight, because Turn 16 is when we have committed to be attacking Team Elves, and we've got some Neefles ready to do that. We've also got some Neefles heading down this way. Pangaea is still busy with Yomi and Lanka. Lanka, by the way, is being besieged by Arcoscephale. So we're in this kind of interesting position where we are about to be fighting two teams that are also fighting each other. And we're fighting the yeah, so it's like we're getting into this really complicated three-way clusterfuck of a war, because the elves are fighting them, and we're fighting them, and then we're about to attack the elves, so then the elves will be fighting us, and this whole, like, section of the world is just going to be one massive screaming, like, hell pit of a fight. Perun's team still has not committed to me as to whether they are going to help us against the elves. As far as I'm concerned, their time to get a non-aggression pact in exchange for their help is running out. But you know what? I think we'll be okay, because we've got Agartha, we've got Sauromatia on our side. Fomoria is going to be a little bit of a stumbling block, because of course Fomoria is, if I want to take Fomoria, Fomoria is going to occupy pretty much all of my troops, and if Fomoria is smart, they can just kind of wait me out, probably. Because if they just lock down a big army attacking Fomoria, and make it impossible for me to effectively fight Arcoscephale, then that would be a huge problem for our military strategy. So Put You on Ice is probably going to pull out of that situation and go fight over here. The reason I feel like I can do that is because I have the Skin Shifters. The Skin Shifters, when they're berserking, hit for 30 slash. They always hit for 26 slash. And then when they turn into bears, they do slightly less damage, but still a lot of damage. They still do, like, they still hit hard, and they get 2 attacks, and they have more hit points. So the Blood Bond regeneration thing is a lot more effective, because they end up with, I think, 46 hit points. So they won't die when they're bit by the worm anyway. So I think Chud Skin Shifters can kill that worm. At least if they can separate it from support. Once I'm moving back. I'm leaving one guy here to keep this province under siege, technically. Moving all the rest of my troops back. That's a guy that I won't really miss anyway. So I'll end up with 38 Chud Skin Shifters. 38 Chud Skin Shifters can definitely kill all of his troops. I'm hoping, I think, can kill his troops plus his worm. Now the question, as usual in Dominion's 5 battles, will be what kind of magic support is he bringing? Like I said, he's got Alteration level 3. So with Alteration level 3... he can't do much. He can throw Earth Meld, potentially. If he has, if he also has Conjuration, so he can also spend Earth Gems to cast Earth Power. He's not likely to have that many Earth Gems, though, because it's not a path that Fomoria gets a lot of, and he hasn't had a chance to do a lot of site searching, or ever owned a lot of territory, so he's unlikely to be able to do that much. He will be able to cast, Ghost Wolves, potentially, if he has any number of Nemedian sorceresses. He'll definitely be able to throw Protection on people. So that will be a little bit tricky, because that will, of course, push their prot up. Well, I mean, so... I say that will be a little bit tricky, but it won't actually save his troops from Skin Shifters, because Skin Shifters hit hard enough to punch through it. So it won't make a huge difference in this case. He won't really be able to cast Cheat Fate, because he doesn't really get Astral, and nothing else here is super, super important. Since he has Enchantment... We know he has Enchantment level 2, but once again, that doesn't give him a whole lot of great buffs. If he has Enchantment level 3 and Nemedian sorceresses, however, he may be able to throw down a lot of raised skeletons. That could be a little bit problematic, because my troops will eventually fatigue out if he has enough skeletons coming out. But at this point, I don't think he can have enough of them to make a huge difference. Like, how many Nemedian sorceresses can he have at this point? I know he's recruited a whole bunch of Fomorian druids. So... or Furbolg druids, sorry. So, I don't think he can possibly have more than maybe 5 or 6 Nemedian sorceresses. And 5 or 6 Nemedian sorceresses summoning skeletons, while that would be a problem, it wouldn't be an insurmountable one. So I think if I get all my troops together here, I think I can probably lock down Fomoria hard enough that they won't be able to push me off. I think. It's a gamble. But I feel like it's a gamble I can take. Meanwhile, over here, I'm recruiting some Bear Warriors and the better kind of Rusian Chieftain. I recruited the worst kind by accident. I hadn't been paying close enough attention, but the problem with these guys is even though they have higher leadership, it's still only 60. It still doesn't give a morale bonus or let them use formations, and they're slower. They have map move 12, and they're not stealthy. These guys are faster, map move 16, and they're stealthy. They are berserkers, but who cares? And so you can use these guys to lead Bear Warriors in, like, stealthy attack squadrons. The stealth at the moment isn't super, super valuable, but the, you know, the hiding, the higher speed, I'm sorry, the higher speed is what's more important. So yeah, I'm going to get a bunch of Bear Warriors. And turn 16, we're going to attack Golfalas. Now, Azayaslav has to go, like, help with this situation. I probably should have left those Bear Warriors behind, actually, but you know what? Oh well. And down here, like I said, we're getting more Trude Skin Shifters. We're going to be using Daughters of the Sun to lead them, because the Daughters of the Sun have the high leadership, like the good shit, and they also have the fire magic, plus the randoms. This one got the Astral random, which isn't super useful at the moment. Can use it for personal buffs, I guess. We've also got some decent nature magic from our Rusian wizards, so if we were to do any research that would be useful for, we could use that for stuff, but we haven't, so we can't really. We'll be able to summon bears with our Daughters of the Sun as well once we get that going. We've stopped sending nature gems over to Pangaea because Pan assures me he has enough, and so we should be able to pretty soon start using those nature gems. We'll summon those bears. They'll just serve as like meat walls and chaff and stuff. They're undisciplined, but they can at least block and they can provide siege strength, so they should be able to help us out here. And we'll see how this goes. This is... I'm not going to pretend this isn't kind of risky, like fighting these two teams like this. Especially not because Haerdalas is goddamn huge. I mean, Haerdalas has taken 5 provinces down here. And then in addition, he's got probably close to 20 up here. So he's big, and he's scary, and he's got Vanheim on his side, backing him up. So unless Sauromatia can take a lot of the pressure off, which I devoutly hope he can, we might be in trouble with the Vanheim situation. But over here, I think we're probably going to do all right. It's unfortunate that it's moving into spring because it means that these guys are going to be like out in the warm. But they're just thick enough, and with their cold aura, they should be able to hopefully fight their way through the Wind Riders while my troops kind of raid from this side and just cause havoc and disruption and piss Haerdalas off. Then it will kind of depend on what Fomoriya does. Like, if I manage to bait Fomoriya into a battle and actually win it and kill his troops, then we'll be in really good shape. We'll be able to just kind of sit on his capital and prevent him from participating in the game much. If not, we could be in trouble. Because if that worm is still rocking around with a big pile of sacreds and or troops, then, like, I'm in trouble. So, you know, it's a little bit of a high-stakes gamble, but hey, that's what we like to do. In any case, I'll see y'all in turn 15.